Hello and welcome. I hope you guys are ready for another Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases today. Today's not going to be premiere, obviously, if you are catching this a couple minutes after it goes live. I usually do these a live premiere and I chat with you guys in the live chat as it's going on, but today I'm not able to do that because today I'm actually celebrating my little sister's bridal shower. She's getting married in August. I still can't believe it. So yeah, her bridal shower is on Saturday, so I'm going to be celebrating with her, but I am able to sit down and pre-record this and at least put it up for you guys on Saturday, as I always do. So that is what we're going to be doing today. If you're new around here, every Saturday I like to sit down and do a Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases inspired by these lovely ladies right here. But I like to focus on indie makeup because that tends to be what catches my attention. But honestly, like I just said, I just talk about the makeup that catches my attention throughout that past week. And there is a lot to talk about. I'm recording this early on Wednesday, so there might be some late breaking news at the end because this doesn't go up till Saturday, but I have to do it on Wednesday because of time constraints and whatnot, prepping for the party and the bridal shower. But anyway, I'm going to be doing it early, but there's still tons to talk about, so why don't we just go ahead and jump right in. I got my coffee, hope you have yours, and we can start chatting about some new makeup releases. Alright, so first up I want to talk about a release that I totally missed. Now this was launched after I took my break. I was off for 2 weeks and didn't do this, but then when I came back and gave kind of my update, I totally blanked on including this, so I wanted to go ahead and mention it. But Lethal Cosmetics launched a new collection while I was out, and this is the Rights collection, and it launched May 22nd. I know it's been out a while, but anyway, I did want to touch on it because this shadow, or this palette right here, definitely has my attention and I thought was very, very pretty. If we scroll over, they'll even show us swatches. That's the Destiny palette. Purples and mauves, not my thing. The Memento palette, that's cute. I feel like I could get some cute looks, more of a neutral type of pinky watermelon-y type of palette. And then this is the palette, obviously, that definitely got my attention, and it is the Roots palette. This looks so very pretty. I wish one of these shadows had a lot of depth. I mean, maybe that brown will give some depth, but it just kind of seems overall light to monotone. There's no real color in there that will give saturation and depth to looks on the outer corner. That kind of thing is what I'm thinking of. But as far as just like mid-tone colors for the crease and the lid, I think this is a beautiful color selection. It's a beautiful array of colors. Very like spring, summer. It just feels very fresh, so I like it. I'm not planning to pick it up, but I am excited to see them coming out with something new. And that little 6-pan palette, quad, whatever you want to call it, they're single shadows, but they sell them as a set. Definitely caught my attention. They also came out with single gel liner pots. I wasn't into. I still have this one from their original launch, this green one. I do not like to use it as lining my eyes, so the only thing I use it for is actually in my waterline, and it's not the nicest thing to put in your waterline. Like, it's a little chunky and just a little bit of a nuisance as opposed to a gel liner. So I don't plan to pick up any more of them just because they don't work for me. But anyway, just want to mention that collection. I know I'm super late to it, but it was an exciting launch. I was very happy for them. GlamLite launched this new icing bases, kind of like the P. Louise base. So it's white to ish dark. I mean, it's not very dark or not very deep, but they have, what is that, 7 colors. I'm not planning to pick any up just because I don't need any eyeshadow primer, but I was excited for a new launch from them, and I'm sure a lot of my friends, I think Karen picked them up. I'll be curious to see how she likes them, though I think she has dry eyelids. I have very oily eyelids. So these bases tend to not work for me. I do like the, which one do I use? The Gerard Cosmetics one. That's nice, but it still creases and fades on me, so it doesn't hold my eyeshadow as well as I like. So they tend to be, these type of things tend to be a topper for like a good eyeshadow primer underneath that. I need to have 2 of them. Anyway, I'm getting on a rabbit trail. Excited, but not picking it up. But while we're on it, let's go ahead and talk about, where is it? The Mikayla. I'm very new to her. I found her a couple weeks before she had this launch, so I was excited to see it kind of all come out and reveal. But this is Mikayla J Makeup. I think she's got really popular. I heard about her on TikTok, and then I found her on Instagram. But anyway, she is collaborating with GlamLite, and this is the full collection reveal. She has a palette. She has, I think, lip products. She has lashes. Yeah, lashes. Is that lip? No, yeah, lip glosses, I think. Let's see. The 30 color eyeshadow palette for $42. The Mikayla Pop and Highlighter for $14. Lip gloss set for $28. And 2 3D faux lashes for $12 each, and you can get bundles, of course. So a lot in this collection. Here we go. Highlighter, palette, lip glosses. I'm not interested in any of it. I'm going to be passing on all of it as a whole. The only thing that actually intrigued me was the palette, but honestly, when I look at it, the top 2 rows kind of are disconjointed. I think it was Gina who was talking about how it just doesn't seem to like flow well with it. There's such cool toned shades on the lower 3 rows, and then the top 3 tend to look very warm toned, and I think that's kind of where my struggle is too, because it doesn't feel like, I've mentioned this before, it's like if you're gonna have neutrals, make sure they go and flow well with the colorful shadows, and that was my complaint with the Ice Cream Dream. Let me just reach over here. Ice Cream Dream, I tried it. It seems very similar to this palette. This is just like a softer version of the Mikayla palette. palette in my opinion. But anyway, that was my struggle with this, is because she had so many neutrals that were so warm toned, but then with these pastels down here, they were more cool toned, so I really struggled to combine them and to enjoy the looks that I got in combining them, and that was just one of the struggles I had with it. But anyway, this palette does look like a nicer version. Like if I hadn't tried either one of them, and I definitely wanted to try a GlamLite palette and was deciding between the two, I definitely think the Mikayla one is a more saturated version, and so I probably would like it more because I wasn't a fan of how GlamLite's pastel formula was. But the whole disconnect between the top 2 rows and the, the bottom 3, it's just a no for me. It's such a big palette for me to only like and really be into. Honestly, the bottom 2 rows. The bottom 3 rows I could get down with. The bottom 2 rows is where I just keep going to, like, oh, that looks so pretty. Those 2 rows, oh, could create so many looks. But that's the only pull for me with this palette. So it's like, Katie, that's a really big palette, 30 shadows, you're only into the bottom 2 rows. Let it pass. There's more eyeshadow palettes that are coming out that you're excited for. So as much as I wanted to be more into this, because I do really enjoy following the influencer, I think she did a nice job, but it's just, for me personally in the color story, it's not for me, so I'm going to pass on it. Okay, I bet you're gonna be surprised when I tell you this, but Makeup Revolution is starting a new brand. I know you're shocked, right? Makeup Revolution is launching their Planet Revolution line, and you guessed it, this one is all about clean beauty because clean beauty is trendy, so hence Makeup Revolution had to start a clean beauty makeup line. Obviously. So anyway, it's Planet Revolution. They're coming out with cruelty-free, vegan, clean, affordable, yada yada. I'm not into any of these. I mean, maybe a tinted moisturizer or a BB cream or something like that I would be down to trying if it came to Ulta, that type of thing. But I don't know. Makeup Revolution just comes out with so many brands. I feel like I just mentioned them the other day, and not the last one because I was off, but before I took my break. So last month sometime, I just talked about a new one they had. I can't remember what it was called now. Anyway, they just have so many brands. I cannot keep up. Are they up to 10 now? I feel like they have a lot of sister, sub, whatever you call it, brands. But anyway, new brand. What do you guys think? Dominique Cosmetics is launching this new Silk Tone Cream Blush. I just want to mention it real quick. It was launched a little while ago. 3 different shadows, cream blushes. I'm not into cream blushes. I can never say blushes well when I try to talk about them. I always mess it up. Anyway, 3 cream blushes that seem like a more sheerish type of blush. I'm not into blushes, so it's an easy pass for me, but I figured I would mention it. They are available now, $22 each. So yeah, I feel like cream blushes are getting their moment this year for summer of 2021. I haven't drank any from my coffee. Moving right along, let's talk about BPerfect Beauty. He launched a new collection, the Major Dimension. This is an eyeshadow palette for $68, and then also gel liners for $26. This is all an easy pass for me. This is a bit of an older launch that I also forgot to mention in my last video last week, so I wanted to mention it here. It's a neutral palette. I will say and give major props to him that it's a neutral palette with a lot of mattes and just, a nice amount of shimmers. I think there's more, either it's a split 50-50 or there's more mattes to shimmers. I think it's split, which kind of makes me think of like Nomad Cosmetics, which I always appreciated Nomad because they always had 1 row of mattes, 1 row of shimmers. I feel like a lot of time with neutral palettes, at least, like you think back to Urban Decay Naked, they had so many shimmers and like 2 mattes. So I always appreciate when there's a nice hefty amount of mattes in there to work with your shimmers. But that's really all that I like about this palette. It's just too neutral for me, so it's an easy pass. And then also the liners, I don't need any gel liners, and I tend to, if I need gel liners, I'm gonna go to the drugstore just because it's more affordable. So all around, once again, easy pass for me. Another new release that happened, I think last week, I forget, but this is Makeup by Mar. They introduced their Soft Sculpt collection. I think it's a lot of cream products. They got cheeks, let's see, Soft Sculpt Shaping Sticks, 6 shades, Soft Pop Blush Stick, 6 shades, Soft Sculpt Bronzer, 6 shades, Soft Pop Powder Blush, 5 shades, Soft Glow Highlighter, 5 shades, and 3 brushes. I'm sorry if it's difficult to listen to me read those because I felt like I was struggling the whole time. Anyway, this collection as a whole is a major no for me. I feel like as a whole, Makeup by Mar really doesn't appeal to me. Like even their initial launch and the last time that they had a launch, I've never really been into the brand. So I feel like this is just one of those brands where the aesthetic as a whole isn't my vibe, and what they're going for with makeup isn't my vibe. Like it's a lot of, cream products and stuff, and that just doesn't tend to be what I go for. Maybe in the summer I'm going to get a little more into it, but I mean today I have the Colourpop tinted moisturizer on with some powder to set it, and then a powder highlighter and a powder bronzer, and I called it a day. That tends to be my MO in the summer. So anyway, all these cream products, I'm not into cream that much, so it's an easy pass for me. One Size launched their Brow Kiki collection. I feel like nobody talks about One Size at all. Like they had a bit of a hubbub when they first launched, but then I really haven't been into any of their launches. This is their brow collection. I feel like if anything I'd be into that, the brow gel, the tinted brow gel, just because that tends to be what I use on the daily. but not enough to buy. I think they're all about around the $20 mark. You can get from Sephora. I don't order from Sephora often, so that's another kind of turn off why I would just pick something that's available at Ulta. But yeah, as a whole, I haven't heard much about this brand, and I haven't heard really anyone talking about this launch, so I don't know if people just aren't interested in it. But for me personally, I'm someone who just doesn't get excited for brow products, so that could be why too. But anyway, new launch from One Size. It's going to be a pass for me. Okay, Nomad Cosmetics is launching two things, but I want to talk about this first. This is their brushes that they're launching along with a palette. This is a nice brush collection. I wish that the blending brush was a little bit smaller, just because I feel like tiny detailed blending brushes tend to be in right now. And then that liner brush looks a little too thick. But besides that, I like the tiny pencil brush. I like the little flat dome blending brush. I like the packer brush. It's a nice little collection. Probably, I don't know how much it is, but it's going to be easy pass for me. I like the etch work on the handle. I think that's so cool. The other thing that they're launching is this brunette palette. Why is Melt launching so many neutral? I mean, maybe not so many, but I feel like a lot of their palettes, I don't know. When I think of Melt, I don't think of like neutral, you know, barely there palettes. I think of like grunge and colorful. And maybe that's just my fault for thinking that when that's not really the aesthetic of the brand, but that's what I see. So when I see these type of palettes that are all, yeah, the last one, maybe it was more of like a gray tone neutral, because the last palette was like all gray, maybe it was gray. Anyway, this palette, absolutely not interested. It's an easy pass for me. I think it's a little bit on the tinted green side, but still a very neutral palette. It's a pass. Okay, Devinah Cosmetics is launching a bunch of eyeshadows. This is in the Halo collection. This is a Miramar. This shadow right here, very, very beautiful, but she is also launching a Lynn. Proteus, I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher the pronunciations. Zero is the one that I'm definitely very interested in. It's a white base, it shifts from green to orange to red. It's going to be $13. Collection, you can get the whole collection for $78, which looks like you got a discount buying them. I'm not sure if it's going to be a sale or there's another reason for a discount. They have a coupon code, RADAR20 for 20% off. But yeah, a lot of really pretty eyeshadows. I'm not planning to pick any up just because I haven't been into buying single shadows. And if I'm going to buy single shadows, I'm kind of more going for specific colors that I know I need in my single eyeshadow collections, like a really good true red shimmer. Still on the hunt for one. So yeah, this is going to be a pass for me, but it's really pretty. They're all gorgeous. And I hear such great things when it comes to Devinah Cosmetics, especially her multi-chromes. I want to try them because everyone speaks highly of them. But I'm not in the market for them now. So it's going to be a pass for me. Okay, Makeup Revolution. If you thought we were done talking about them, nope. But they are going to be collaborating with the Bratz dolls. Yeah, Bratz dolls. I think there's going to be a whole collection, but right now all I have is this palette that Trend Mood just sneak peeked. It's a cute little palette. I'm not going to say it's not. I kind of like that, you know, the bigger pans in the middle look like they're highlighters for different skin tones. It's a cute little palette. Very heavy on the shimmers, I feel like. When I look for the mattes, they're a little bit harder to find. Like the neutral, I see a couple neutral mattes. Maybe that green and purple, and maybe that red is a matte. And it looks like that dark blue if there is a matte. Anyway, it looks like a fun color story. At least it's not all super neutral. I'll give it that, but it looks a little chaotic and a little scattered. And for me, when I look at it, I'm having a little bit of an issue trying to figure out like what I would do. I feel like, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's a little too chaotic for me. I need to spend more time really staring at it to figure out what kind of looks that I would do, but I'm not inspired when I look at it. And I'm not into the Bratz dolls in particular, so the cover doesn't really give me any appeal. So this collection as a whole is an easy pass for me. KKW launched a new collection, and the first time I saw this palette, I definitely thought it was just another neutral palette. However, it's a khaki neutral palette, so there's green in there. So then I was like, okay, let me take another look at this. Since there's like that camo green in there, army green, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm definitely into that side of it. However, I feel like I have those colors that are actually green in this palette a million times over in my collection. Like, if you want to know what's actually truly green in this palette, it's like Fatigue, Army, Moss Oak is on the verge, just like a goldy green, and then Camo is like a really dirty type of green. I think that could show up a little green. And that's it. Everything else is just neutral. Vintage khaki, I'll even give you, is a little bit like khaki green, but everything else is just a neutral. So when I think about that, I know I have Midas's Artistry Volume 2 palette. I have my Gemini palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I have so many palettes in my collection that could give me exactly what this is. And I also feel like you could buy, you know, like I just said, the Artistry Volume 2, I think it's $18 from Nomad Cosmetics, and it would be cheaper than the KKW palette. It doesn't say the price, but they're available at $6.20. So yeah, this collection, while I am intrigued because it is more green themed, and you guys know I love my army, khaki, whatever you want to call it, camo green colors, I was very tempted. I like the packaging and all that, but it's going to be a pass for me. DJ's Unique Boutique is launching some loose highlighters. This is the shade Heat Wave. It's a highlighter with pink, orange, and red microflex, which sounds super pretty. I typically am not into the loose type of highlighters, but it does sound really pretty. It does look really pretty. I like a really red. I think a red highlighter is very beautiful with a very colorful look, so I'm definitely intrigued. I don't know when it's going to be launching. It doesn't say, but I think they're gonna later this month. More info on this and other releases will be out soon. So more is coming from DJ's Unique Boutique, so definitely keep your eye on them. I definitely do like their formula. I have a palette from them that I bought in the fall, and then I have some single eyeshadows from her that are amazing. They're beautiful. So I'm definitely intrigued, keeping an eye on her. So if you are also curious, definitely go follow her on Instagram, DJ's Unique Boutique. But I'm excited to see what else she's launching. Loose highlighters, like I said, tend to not be my vibe, but if it's for a unique formula, for a unique color that I don't have in my collection, I'd be down to trying it, that type of thing. That's kind of where I'm at, but I'm going to wait and see what else she's launching. Okay, BPerfect is collaborating with TheVivienne. I know I'm butchering that. I'm so sorry. But they collaborated on this palette together, and it's a little chaotic for me. I forget who said it, but they were like, oh, Makeup Revolution, is that you? And that's kind of what I was thinking, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, it just looks like a Makeup Revolution palette. A little... I don't know if it's because of the contours. That little contour corner, along with all these other shadows, and I'm assuming are these pressed glitters up there, it's just a little chaotic. I think color story wise it's nice. It's a very nice and colorful palette. You got some neutrals in there. You got some colors that you guys know I like the green and the yellow, but as a whole, it's a little too disjointed for me to be curious to try it, I guess. This palette includes 6 face shades, 2 supersized black and white shades. Oh wait. That's confusing. Okay, so 6 face shades, which is this little corner, but then 2 supersized black and white shades. So I'm just assuming you can use the black and white. I mean, you can use any color anywhere on your face, but I don't know if they're, it just makes it sound like they're in addition to the 6 shades, but I think that's all combined in there. Anyway, 33 ultra pigmented eyeshadows in various textures, $50 available now. It's an easy pass for me. Lime Crime Makeup is releasing their Sun-Kissed Glimmering Skin Sticks. This just seems very un-Lime Crime. When I saw it, I was like, really, Lime Crime? I don't know why. Like Milk Makeup, sure. I feel like a lot of brands, I could see them coming out with something like this. Kaja Makeup, that type of thing, but Lime Crime, I didn't see it, but I feel like it makes sense because the cream products are just so much in, especially this year with the summer. I don't know, I just feel like I'm seeing them everywhere, cream blushes and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's an easy pass for me. I'm not into the packaging. I'm not into the cream products. As a whole, it's an easy pass for me. I'm not into cream highlighters. I feel like I just rather use a powder one and I'm good to go. For Art's Sake launched this 12 matte bright rainbow colors. It's $29. I'm super curious what you guys think of For Art's Sake. I feel like I'm always drawn to their palettes. They're very simple when it comes to the packaging design and the layout of the palette and whatnot. I feel like they keep it pretty simple, low key. However, their color stories always grab me. I'm always kind of drawn to it. This is just a basic rainbow palette, but there's something about it I'm just like, ooh, I kind of like it. And you know, as this is going to come back to just me being weird, but I often have to Google color wheel to really see, like I'm a very visual person. I really just need to print off a color wheel and have it at my desk so I can always reference it. But I do better seeing it than trying to envision it in my head for whatever reason. Anyway, so the fact that there's a color wheel on their palette is like, oh, I could have that and then I wouldn't need to print one off, but that's a really dumb reason to buy a palette. Anyway, I just think it's fun that they have a color wheel on the palette, but it's really pretty. Let me know your thoughts. Would you guys like to see me review For Art's Sake? I'm very tempted. Like I said, I'm always, gravitating toward those palettes whenever I see a palette that catches my attention and I go click on to see who made it. It's usually from them, when I'm scrolling my Instagram, and that was the case this morning. I saw this, I was like, ooh, what brand is this? That looks so pretty, and it was For Art's Sake. So I'm very curious about the brand. I'm very tempted, but I'd love to hear if there's any interest from my audience, so let me know if you'd like to hear my thoughts on them. Next up is from SheGlam. They're launching 4 new eyeshadow palettes. This one right here, let's see, we have Flutter Effect, Forever Feather, Viva La Leopard, and Wolf Calls, $7.50 each. So affordable, y'all. I just want to grab them all up. Even this one was super neutral. It's got the khaki green in it. This one I could leave that one. It's too taupe and purple, but look at all of them. So pretty. I wish it wasn't like digitized. I mean, I know that's the concept of it, having it just the little blocks or whatever, but I kind of don't love that, but that's just me. However, sticking to the color story, like that color story is beautiful. The green to red with that pop of orange, I would love. I can see so many beautiful looks that I could create with that palette. And this one too, like I said, is neutral, but it's got that khaki green vibe to it with a little bit of orange. I enjoyed that. There's this one down here. That one's pretty too. They're just all so beautiful. Let me know what you guys think. Again, $7.50. They're so affordable. It's one of those, you know, brands that is just like, might as well throw it in my cart. I feel like I say this every time. I haven't made a SheGlam purchase in a long time, hence why I haven't bought it, but I'm always intrigued. I always like their color stories. I just don't know if I love their formula, so that's my only hesitation. But color story wise, they're doing a good job out there, and this palette right here definitely has my attention. It looks like they're donating to protect animal organizations, which is cool too. Ivette Beauty is launching a bunch of new products. They've launched a ton, but they're launching press-on nails as well. Let's see, they also have, where was it? They have this new, I think it is, yeah, this new liner palette. They also have this liner palette. What else do they have? I think they have these. They have all these collections coming out, or maybe it's just one collection. They have a lot. If you want to look at a bunch of new makeup, check out Ivette Beauty. They have these lashes. I think this is new too. Oh, liquid lipsticks. Available in every color of the rainbow, launching today. Okay, so these are up now too. I don't know if I'd wear any of these on my lips. I mean, maybe the orange and the red. If, you know, I feel like the red is a typical bold color. Very bold for me. I tend to not go for red. But anyway, lots of new products. They got the bar soap if you want to try like a bar soap trend. I haven't tried it. I'm not interested in it, but they have that. So tons of new products from Ivette Beauty. I just wanted to give them a shout out. And definitely when I saw they have press-on nails, I'm even more intrigued because you guys know I love my press-on nails. Shine by SD is coming out with this enchantment palette launching June 12th. It's going to be for $33 USD or $40 Canadian. And Amy Loves has a discount code that you can use. I haven't seen this swatched at all yet, but I do know Shine by SD. Everyone talks about how amazingly beautiful and like glittery and sparkly their colors are, or their eyeshadows are, so I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. I don't plan to pick it up though because it is, you know, there's no mattes. I like a mix of mattes to shimmers. That's just my preference, or all mattes. You guys know if it's going to go one way, I'd rather be all matte than all shimmer. But anyway, as for a topper or, you know, companion palette, this looks beautiful and I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, but I'm not planning to pick it up. But if you are curious, you can check out Shine by SD. My internet's not working, so I don't know if I can see if they swatched it out. Oh, they do have swatches. Here it is. Yeah, here it is all swatched out. I thought it was going to be more of like a sheer topper-ish type of color. They look pretty, but they just look very soft, and I would like more punch and more metallic and more color than sparkle, and I say that all the time, so I feel like a broken record. So anyway, it's going to be a pass for me, but it does look very pretty. Oh, I mentioned this on my Instagram. This is from Flawless Cosmetics. They're launching this Tropical Paradise palette, and I am so very intrigued. Look at this. They have a matte to a shimmer for each of the colors, and you guys know I love that. So I'm very curious. I wish they would show an actual picture of the palette instead of this kind of like digitized, computerized version. But they do swatch it. They showed it on their Instagram page, I think in their stories, and Indie Makeup Hotspot screenshot it and put it together, which I'm very thankful for. The greens and the yellows and the orange, I mean, they all look beautiful, but the green and yellow and orange I'm just like zeroed in on. I'm really curious. I almost bought it the day it launched, or they're doing a pre-sale. I almost bought it the day they launched the pre-sale, but I decided to put a poll. I need to go back and check, but last time I checked the poll, I think it's over at this point, but when I checked it, it was like 50-50, so I'm like, oh, now I really don't know. So you guys can let me know here if you'd like to see me review this. Let me know, and I can pick it up. I don't think it's too expensive. It was $29, and they are going to begin shipping in 4 to 6 weeks, so I wouldn't get it for a little while, but very tempted. I want to try this out. If you didn't know, this is a sister brand to Makeup Maniac Cosmetics, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly, their sister brand. Very new to them. Let me see. Sister brand Makeup Maniac Cosmetics. Yeah, so I'm very curious to try their brand. I've tried only one palette from Makeup Maniac Cosmetics, but I really did enjoy it, so curious to try Flawless. Nomad Cosmetics launched the new palette. I always have so much fun with their launches. It's the most fun. If you've never tuned in or checked out their Instagram page when they're launching a new product and teasing it, you got to. It is just such a fun experience. I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, this is a new palette called the America's Park palette, which is such a cool concept for a palette. And I love that this is a nature themed palette, but it's still very colorful. Kat Von D, you know, we talked about last week, tried to do like a nature themed type of palette, you know, because it was supposed to be inspired by all the beautiful colors in the world, and it was like the blandest thing ever. This Nomad took that same idea of like nature and did it well and did it right. I bought this the day it launched, and I'm waiting for it to arrive. It should have arrived in a couple days, I think, but they have a nice mix of mattes to shimmers. I think they have more shimmers than mattes. I am curious to see what the marbled eyeshadows look like. I tend to not like marble eyeshadows. However, this type of marbling looks like it's more already mixed. It's just kind of like I don't know, like once you start swirling, it's all gonna mix together and you won't have to like guess what you're, or like try and get the same thing when you use it, if that makes sense. Like once it all mixes together, it seems to mix. We'll have to see when I get it, but I bought it anyway because I like Nomad's formula. I love their mattes and I'm curious to see what their shimmers are like. I tend to not like their shimmers except the last palette that they did, the Shanghai palette. That's discontinued now, but I love the shimmers in that one. So I'm curious to see if they're continuing with that shimmer formula instead of their previous type of shimmer formula, because the previous shimmer formula, it's just, they're very subdued and they're just not my favorite when it comes to shimmers. So I'll be curious to see what kind of formula they have for the shimmers in this palette, but you guys will be seeing it on my channel very, very soon, hopefully. Colourpop Cosmetics launched this neon collection. Make it glow, introducing our newest collection, neutrals with a pop of neon. Who asked for neutrals with a pop of neon is what I want to know. It's like, I feel like we have so many neutral palettes. Just give us a neon palette and then we can add that to the bajillion of neutral palettes that, you know, Colourpop has launched in the last month alone. Like, they launch a lot of neutral palettes. Like, why did they have to launch more neutral palettes with just one pop of neon? I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, it's available now, I believe. They're also coming out with lip oils. It's all an easy pass for me. I was so disappointed. The only shadow in all of this that I was into is the Glowscape right there, and that's it. So yeah, this was a dud, and I feel like a lot of people agree there. They're like, what on earth is that, Colourpop? A lot of people agree that it's just, they totally missed the mark. In my opinion, for me personally, they missed the mark. Sydney Grace and Temptalia are collaborating on a collection, 3 palettes in total, and they just showed the full collection. There, like I said, 3 palettes in total. This is the Quintessence. I feel like I butchered that, but this is a deep version of her palette, and it looks really pretty. Like, look at that black. Oof. So beautiful. It's got a nice mix of like greens and reds with purples. And then they have the light version. Oh wait, it's also called Quintessence. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, maybe they're doing 2 versions so that a couple shades, is it just the 2 middle shades on the bottom row, I think, are changed? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. And then let's see, they have on the horizon the deep version. Oh, interesting. They're doing each palette in her collection with a deep and a light version. This is, I think, the one that I was most interested in, mainly because of that green shade there. But again, kind of like a blue to green to a mauve-y tone in there. Light version, yeah, I think the only difference are the two mattes on the right there. Yep, and then Radiant Reflection, deep version. This is like more reddish to green and blue with gold in there too. And then light version. And I think the only colors in there, oh yeah, the 2 on the left now, the 2 mattes on the left. So a lot of different palettes. I was looking at it, I feel like for 3 palettes, my little like critique on it is that for all 3 palettes, they seem to have such a common theme with like such subtle nuances. I almost don't think like anyone who buys this whole collection, I feel like it's just so much and so repetitive. I don't know. I look at this and I'm just kind of like, it's all the same. There's just so minute differences. I wish I could take kind of like the green and blue out of each of the palettes and put them all in one type of thing. I don't know. I just feel like I was hoping for more differences between all 3 palettes, I guess, when we were leading up to the reveal. I was kind of surprised by how similar they all 3 are, because all 3 of them have kind of that green blue, right? They all have that like green neutral pop to them, and then some of them are more purple, some of them are more blue, one has a gold. I don't know, they're just very, very close, which I am a little taken aback. And taken aback in the way that now that they're all so similar with just little nuances, I'm like, I don't know which one to get because I'm not going to get all of them. I wouldn't want to get all of them. I don't even know if I'm going to get one. That's how like undecided I am. If I am going to get it anyway, it'll probably be on the horizon, as I said, just for that Desert Spoon shade. Because that's like the shadow that speaks to me the most. But as a whole, like when I look at these palettes as a whole, I'm not incredibly drawn to really any of them. I mean, this is also pretty because of that gold pop. But the greens I'm not crazy about. The blues look pretty. I don't know. I'm just not head over heels in love with any of them. Like there's pops of each of the palettes I think are pretty, but as a whole, I'm not drawn. Like I'm kind of trying to ruminate on this, so it might take a little bit longer for me to look at this and decide if I want it, because I really don't know. If I had to decide today, I don't think I would get it. Like that's how undecided I am. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this collection, because I'm just kind of, at a loss for words. Alright, so that is going to be it for my new makeup releases. Will I buy it? Per usual, if there are any late breaking news, I'm going to have them over here because, like I said, I'm going to be recording this early, so I'm probably going to have some late breaking news over here that launched, you know, and was announced after I recorded it today and before it goes up on Saturday. So I like to put that over here if it's something like very, I don't know, popular or people are talking about it a lot and you guys might want to know my thoughts on it. I can let you guys know right here, and then if we need to, we can discuss more next week if I want to go into it more and chit chat with you guys about it. I can always save it and talk about it later. But yeah, that is going to be it. I feel like this week was very interesting. I don't think overall there was anything I definitely am buying. Like, I bought the Nomad. That's the one thing I definitely bought. And there's a lot that I was interested in, but a lot that I'm kind of like not buying even though I'm interested, if that makes sense. Like, I like the Flawless Tropical. I like the SheGlam palettes. I like the new launches from Ivette Beauty. I really like the KKW launched. I like, what else did I like? The Lethal. But for the most part, while I like them, I don't like them enough to buy them. I don't plan to buy them. Like, I just am admiring them from a distance, which is good for my wallet. So that's always a good week for me. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think about all these new makeup releases. Per usual, if you guys want to let me know down below in the comments, are you planning to pick anything up? And if you are, which one are you going to pick up? And also let me know, like, the collections and the releases that I'm really torn on, like the GlamLite launch and the Sydney Grace. Those are both collab launches that I'm very torn on and just not sold. And I feel like I'm just the odd girl out because, like, so many people are so excited. I'm over here just like, not really for me. So I'd love to hear what you guys think and what your opinions is on those. But yeah, with all that said, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Per usual, if you want to stay up to date on me, I post over on my Instagram about every day. I'm LadyKatie92 over there if you want new makeup releases, up close eye pictures, all that sort of thing. But yeah, with all that said, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.